What's up, everybody? Welcome to episode number 5 of Shippy and Grubes. I am Shippy, and over there is my good friend Grubes.
Hi, I'm Grubes.
And we got a lot of fun stuff to talk about today. Obviously, we got to get into the Cowboys win. We got to get into some other interesting sports happenings over the weekend. And maybe we find the one thing that can make me and Grubes dance. But first, we must talk about the brand spanking new news, the launch of the Victory Plus app with the Dallas Stars. September 11th is a big, very, very exclusive event where they're launching this thing. And if you're not familiar with what this is, if you're a Stars fan or if you were trying to get into the Stars in previous seasons or years and you tried to flip on Bally Sports or you just couldn't find it, well, Bally's in pretty much every cable network or streaming service other than like, I think it was like Spectrum and DirecTV were like the two where they figured it out. If you had anything other than them, you couldn't watch Stars games. You couldn't watch Mavs games. You couldn't watch Rangers games. You couldn't watch those fishing shows on the weekend. But now with the Stars have announced this new app called Victory Plus. It's launching tomorrow or on September 11th. And, you'll be able to download it. And this will be a way to be able to watch all the Dallas Stars games for free.
It's pretty awesome.
It's pretty awesome. And I'm fortunate enough to be a part of it, actually.
Whoa.
I get to DJ the whole event. And if you'll remember, back when we went to the House of Healing, and
I vaguely remember that.
I'm not sure if we healed. Something maybe healed. I'm not sure exactly what, but we went there and I was a little bit late because of a phone call. Well, this is what it was about. And so basically the big news was that we have Nelly headlining tomorrow or on September 11th. So Nelly will be headlining. He's going to do an hour and a half performance at 8. There's some special guests that are going to be there. Coach DeBoer and a Stars player are going to be there. All sorts of media members and stuff. So it'll start off, the day will start off with like a media type thing with answering questions and all that sort of stuff. And then it's going to open up into the factory, previously called the Bomb Factory. And it's just going to open up into that big room. You're going to be able to walk around to different experiences, different things to do, and all of it's Dallas Stars themed, related, and I'm really looking forward to it. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
Man, that's exciting as hell.
Yeah,
I can't wait to, hear about how the party is, but actually having the ability to watch the Stars again is a nice thing. Like, I'm lucky where I've always had DirecTV, so I've never lost them.
Yeah, but
hearing and seeing so many of my friends, especially on Twitter, attacking the Bally Sports Southwest Twitter every single time they post about anything. It's pretty brutal to watch because I know so many people over there from my 10 years there, but it is a great thing for sports fans that, it sounds like the Mavs as well are maybe not going to Victory Plus, but
WFAA.
No, they're going to WFAA. That's right. So that was announced where, it sucks that teams are going away from Bally because, again, I just know so many people there. I know you do too.
Yeah.
But it's been just brutal as a sports fan to try to watch your teams for the last few years. And so, I'm just really excited for the launch of the actual app. But I'm a little intrigued by the choice of Nelly as the artist to represent.
Me too.
He's a St. Louis guy, but it's also like, look, if you can get Nelly, you get Nelly.
Right.
I don't blame him.
And I mean, because that was my first thought too, is I didn't know, first of all, when they first approached me about working this, I had no idea, I knew Victory Plus was happening, but I didn't know we were throwing this big party and that there was going to be a headliner. And they said, don't say anything, but we might be getting Nelly. And I was like, Nelly? Nelly, like the Band-Aid on the face? Nelly? Like
from the Lou when he's proud.
Yeah, Nelly Furtado, or are we talking about Nelly? So it is really cool. Like, I'm excited to see him, perform. But it is like an interesting choice of artist for the event, but it's a big name. Everybody knows it. Yeah. The 2000s era of hip hop, in my opinion, is like the best. The 90s and the 2000s. You can, in the 2010s, but like the stuff you hear now, the stuff that I have to play at clubs and stuff is awful. Like,
no argument here.
Like, it's terrible. And I just play it because all the kids love it.
Yeah. Like if it gets them going, it's, like when I was, working the Rangers games, for batting practice, like I just played a lot of, current hip hop, which was, 2020 to 2022. And it all, not to do it all sounded the same, but, it's all a similar enough style of, the vocals, the production, all that, it just it doesn't feel organic, even though a lot of the rap we listened to back then, or the hip hop, was, made up of samples and stuff.
Right.
It still felt, because they were grabbing so many different samples, splicing them together, and it did really make it feel like a new song. There were so many songs that I didn't realize were songs from somewhere else, coming out of rap songs.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's, I think everybody's able to, whether it's making their own beats or whatever, but it all just does feel homogenized. But it is, I know that was a big word.
Wow.
Thank you.
Dude.
Maybe that'll be the title for
Have you been reading?
This show is not homogenized. But it is interesting what goes into booking a musical act for something like that, for really, I guess, any event that you're trying to, hype up whatever your new product is or something like that. Like, do you go for the biggest name overall? Do you go for the biggest local name? Do you go for the one that's easiest to get, the biggest name that's easiest to get?
Yeah.
Or, within your price range? Like, I don't know. I'm curious how that works. Like, I'm not asking if you have any.
I don't have any insight, but the way I would, so I have some of this insight with like clubs in Dallas, like, or Fort Worth. Like, they'll bring out Sheck West, or they'll bring out whoever, right? And like sometimes people will text me and say, "Hey, do people still care about this artist?" And I'll be like, who are your other artists in that price range? Because they've already set their budget, what they're willing to give that artist to come in for one night, because they're expecting to just blow that number out of the waters in terms of tables and bottle service and all that. And so I imagine the same thing happened here, where it's like, they probably had, I don't know what his price is, but he probably had Nelly and then some other people that they reached out to and inquired about, and like, hey, how much would it cost for these different guys? And they probably sat down and said, all right, for the Dallas Stars audience, like, we think Nelly would probably be the best bang for our buck.
Yeah.
For this launch party. So,
and it makes sense. Like, think about just kind of, we both have the experience of working in front of, big crowds where it's all sorts of different music tastes and all that, where unfortunately, I guess, picking the biggest local artist isn't necessarily going to always get the crowd going.
Yeah.
Even if they are reasonably popular or whatever. Like, I'm just going to pick, let's say, Leon Bridges or something. Like, he's local, he's awesome, he's known, but he's not Nelly.
Right.
So, even though you associate Nelly with St. Louis, you're not necessarily thinking, oh man, I'm a Dallas Stars fan, I don't like him.
Right.
No, I listened to him back in high school or whatever. He's amazing, an amazing artist, as far as I know, puts on a pretty damn good show. So it all makes sense. I'm just, it's always just kind of fascinating, because that was something that I did notice on Twitter, currently known as X, where the Victory Plus party was announced, and it said that Nelly was going to be the headliner. And of course, like, the first few comments are, people like, the diehard Stars fans, that, we can't like anything from St. Louis, which is
I respect that.
I respect it.
I respect that.
F the Blues, all that.
And the Cardinals, for sure.
Yeah, oh, even more so.
Like, so as a Mizzou, like, I went to Mizzou, so I hate them even more, because I knew all the fans. Like, St. Louis to me is like, that's my least favorite city. I will never cheer for any of them unless somehow a relative starts playing for one of their teams, and I might cheer for them.
Were you going to Mizzou during the World Series?
I was.
Okay, I thought
dude. So I've never told this story before, I don't think, but
exclusive.
So Derek Holland, who I ended up becoming good friends with him. And this was all after college and stuff. Well, during whatever that gym was that he pitched against the Cardinals.
Game 4, I believe.
Game 4. I was at a local bar at Mizzou, and it was me and my friends. I was the only Rangers fan at Missouri. Well, that I knew. Like, I knew.
Would be amazing.
There were no other Rangers fans, just me. No, I was. So we would go. Like, me and my buddies would all go out, and like, they were all Royals fans, Cubs fans, anybody, like they were all just screw the Cardinals. So what I would do is I had a ton of Rangers gear. So I would hand out shirts to all my friends. They would all wear Rangers gear and go out with me to the games and support the Rangers. Well, so for that game, we went to a spot like right there. It used to be called Big 12. It was just this corner bar, just, you know, it was one of the most popular bars, and we had a corner table. Well, the whole game, people were coming up to me and talking trash to all of us. It would not stop. Well, then at the end, I can't remember what happens, but we end up winning at the very end, like in dramatic fashion. I think it was like a 2-1 game or something like that, or 1-0, something like that. Well, I got up and I was drunk at this point. I started having a good time with it and started talking trash back to everybody else. And me and my friends were up and celebrating. Well, they started throwing beer bottles at us in the corner.
Whoa.
So they started bouncing, and we're in the corner, so it's bouncing off the walls. It's hit like, we're like dodging drinks and beer bottles and all this stuff. And then we get kicked out of the bar. I'm like getting moved out of this bar with my back up against the wall. And like, there's a door to my left, probably like, I don't know, maybe 15 feet away that I got to somehow get to. And we're being escorted by security. And there's just all these Cardinals fans just in my face, like just screaming at us. We walked outside. There were people waiting for us outside. There's Peace Parks across the street from this bar. It's like this park you can just go hang out in. And it was not peaceful at Peace Park.
I was going to say, ironically named, at least for that night.
Yeah. So there were these Cardinals fans that were trying to fight us. And we're like, dude,
it's not that serious.
I'm just excited. My hometown team just won a game. You guys have been talking crap to me. Literally the whole game, they would come by and be like, they're like, yo, you guys suck. Like, you know, you get ready to lose, blah, 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 whatever they were saying. Like, they were just coming by and just droves, just all of them. And then so finally we do something at the very end to win the game. And I just went ballistic, dude. Like, I went nuts. I was probably like 3 or 4 like Long Island iced teas deep by then.
Those will get you.
And so in our designated driver that night, he was the one guy that got hit with a bottle.
Brutal.
So one guy they hit. You couldn't hit one of the drunk idiots like us. You hit the guy that was taking you hit the guy that was taking us home, and then we're like, "Where's Jordan?" Yeah. And my buddy's like, "Oh, he's on the way to the hospital. He got hit with a beer bottle." And we're like, he was like, "Yeah, we didn't tell you because we didn't want you guys to get even more mad." And we're like, "What? I wasn't even that mad. I was happy we won." So, and then I ended up becoming great friends with Derek Holland and living with him for a little bit. Nice. So it was kind of like a funny full circle thing. Like he almost got me killed, kind of.
Yeah.
But
if not for him.
Then
you wouldn't have been in that fight.
No. And we would not have had a chance in the series.
True.
And we're not going to talk anymore about the series other than that.
No, we can talk about it. It doesn't hurt anymore.
That's true.
We won last year.
We're champs.
Yeah.
We're still champs.
Still till
it ends.
The next winter,
yeah. So
it's ours.
Yeah, it is ours. Screw you, St. Louis.
Yeah.
But not screw you, Victory Plus, because it's going to be a great app and you should download it because now you can watch the Stars for free after years of not being able to watch them, and they're going to be really good this year.
Hell yeah.
Another team that might be really good this year looks like the Dallas Cowboys. It's our year, Grubes. We're doing stuff.
Yeah.
Beat the Browns 33-17. It wasn't even really that close. They just kind of scored some late points at the end, just when the Cowboys had kind of given up and they weren't really trying as hard anymore. They're like, all right, we got to look on to week 2. We got the Saints coming to Dallas. So, were you able to watch the game at all?
Honestly, no.
No, you didn't?
I've been moving all weekend.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, like just haven't had a chance to catch up because TVs are just now getting set up and everything last night. And
do you have internet yet?
Do have internet, and
nice.
Just, you know, it takes a lot when it's not just me moving. I now have a roommate, actually 2 roommates now.
Yeah.
And, me and Darcy moved in together. So yeah, it's been a fun weekend. So I apologize for not being able to watch as much sports as I would have liked, but sometimes things take priority. It's
okay. No, things take a ton of priority. I moved back during the Western Conference final runs for both teams that I was working. And I was like, you know, when you set a move date, you're like, I mean, both teams could be playing, but like, I don't think it's ever happened in Dallas history. What are the chances?
No, yeah.
So, of course, that's the one time it happened. And that was just like, have you had trouble finding your clothes or anything? Like,
thankfully, all mine came over fine, but like mine and Darcy's closets in our bathroom are like a holding space for everything else. Like, she's got so many clothes and still have her son's stuff, to still unpack, a little bit.
Yeah.
His room is pretty much all set up. Ours is pretty close. But yeah, it's definitely an adventure, especially like I believe you have a roommate too.
Yes, I
do. Your girlfriend. And so, yeah, it's definitely different when it's not just you moving. Because, like I don't know about you, but when I've moved apartments and stuff by myself or, as the only occupant, there wasn't a whole lot to move, all things considered. You know, you have like a bed, a couch, and then maybe some clothes. Not a ton of stuff. But when you're also moving another person, especially when it's a girlfriend who happens to have a lot of clothes and other stuff, and then a kid who also has all their toys and all that, and pets and stuff like that, it all adds up really quickly of where do we find space for everything? Yeah. Because, I fully acknowledge I am not a home decorator, so I don't have a great eye for where to put stuff. So pretty much like, I got movers and, asked them, where to put things, but I was basically guessing because Darcy was having to work.
Oh, so, you had to guess?
Yeah. Oh, like I had a pretty good idea.
See, but
I didn't have a ton of stuff. I knew what stuff was hers, what stuff was her son's, and all that. But it's still just kind of like, I hope I picked the right spots, and overall I did.
Okay, that's good.
But then all the stuff that needed to be unpacked, it's just so much.
Dude, so I'm glad you brought that up about you picking, like, guessing where to put stuff, because that happened to me, and it still happens to me with stuff. Like, where I'm just like, where do I think she would think this makes sense? Because one thing I've learned very quickly is our brains are wired two totally different ways. Like, things that I don't think are a big deal are a huge deal to her. And there's not really that many for her, this like on my end, like in the vice versa. But yeah, I found that I did a pretty bad job of picking stuff where she's like, why did this make sense to you? And I'm like,
that's always a fun question to get.
I'm like, well, I don't know. Like, it just seemed looked like the right spot for a pan to go.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Like, I brought stuff over from my place, like, not a ton, but some dishware and utensils and, I guessed reasonably okay on that. But then it's just, I got some of her stuff. And again, it was just guesswork. I know she's going to be moving stuff around as we go. Cause like, she's also done some work as like a interior designer or something like that where, a home stager. Okay. Home staging where, she's got a great eye for it. And so that's where I was trying to make it as easy as possible on her, but I knew that stuff was still going to get moved around because I just do not have an eye for it. I'm just like, this seems like a fair enough spot. I'm tired of picking it up. It's heavy. I'm going to put it down here.
No, like that's how my brain works too. Or I'll be like, I'm like, she'll ask like, well, why did you put these glasses with these glasses? I'm like, I don't know, because they're glasses. I'm like, no, we need to put this on this shelf and this one on this one. And I like, you said like you're not a big home decorator. My old apartment, she was walking around like, this is not decor. This is not decor. This is not. No, you can't keep this. Like, and I was like, okay, like I had my old place was like a cave. Like it had a couch, 2 TVs, a coffee table. And that was it. It had some artwork from our friend Ziggy, who does those cool cardboard paintings. So, and that was it. But now, dude, my whole place is like Halloween decorated. Nice. Fall. It's the first time ever. Got a Halloween doormat. Dude. Halloween doormat, Halloween pillows, a candle that burns blood or something. It's like there's like red stuff that comes off the side of it.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm domesticated AF now. I actually suffered my first cooking injury the other day. Yeah, so I can't text right now very well because of this Band-Aid. I did it yesterday, but it was totally my fault. I was cleaning one of those vegetable choppers and there was some food in the chopper thing, and I thought I was on the side that was not sharp. And so I was like, I can just push that through after trying just to use the water. And it just got me pretty good. So
I'm so sorry.
It's okay, but it's another reminder that I'm alive.
That's a good thing to be reminded of.
Right?
Yeah. So sometimes you need that reminder. I was going to say, relating to the furnishings and all that. I moved into the apartment complex I've been at for most of the last 6 years. I moved into that in January 2019, and you've been in it a couple times. The 2-bedroom that I had.
Yes.
You saw it was not exactly furnished.
It looked great to me.
I know. Well,
I thought it was fantastic.
Yeah, you never
I
commented.
love what you did with the place.
Yeah. But I met Darcy in January of 2023. So I'd been in my apartment for 4 years when we'd met. And one of the first time she came over, she asked, "Did you just move in?" And I said, "No, why?" She's like, "There's like nothing here." It was like 2 bar stools. You remember? I had like a little recliner set up, the 2-seat recliner.
Yeah.
I think I had a couch.
There were some guitars hanging up.
Yeah. No, the guitars weren't hung up.
Oh,
that's in my the one room that you've just moved out of. Because I moved back into the same complex after a stint in Addison.
Yeah.
But yeah, where she was just like, "There's nothing here." Like I never didn't have anything on the walls. Like she probably thought I was a psycho killer.
Yeah. I mean, that's what my girlfriend told me the other day. She was like, "I'm going to get a painting for the bathroom." I was like, "Why?" She's like, "It's just so gray in there." And I was like, "All right."
Yeah.
Do you want to put a painting up of like a tree or something? I don't know. Like, I don't know what I want to see in the bathroom, but I am all for it. Like, I do not have the eye for decorating anything. And I will gladly admit that. I'm happy to be comfortable. We're like that meme where it's like the lawn chair and the TV and like there's like maybe a balcony.
Yeah.
And it's like guys can live like this for years. And it's just guys, most of us are just real simple.
It's just like, hey, I got everything I need. Like, I don't know about you, but I never really had anyone over to my place.
No.
Like, it was just, I came home to that. And if I was going to see friends or whatever, I went somewhere else. So,
right.
The only people that really saw it were maintenance, maybe.
The good news is you left Darcy a blank canvas to work with. Is what I really think is what we're getting at here.
Yeah.
We both left them with, hey, do what you will. If you want to get some Halloween stuff, or I don't know what kind of decor you got. Do you guys have Halloween stuff up yet?
Not yet. Like, we're kind of setting the baseline first.
Yeah.
But I know that, it is exciting to think about, hitting Halloween and Christmas and all that, like, what Darcy's going to do with it. Make it fun for us and for her son. And, just all that stuff is really exciting.
So I will say I felt like a little kid after like she decorated the whole place. Because I was sitting on the couch and I was like, now I kind of want to watch a Halloween movie. Like,
yeah.
Because I'm looking around, I'm like, there's all this Halloween stuff. We got like a skull. There's like a gold like raven up there. There's like all this stuff. And we all got it from Target, which most stuff is $10. But the problem is when you buy a whole bunch of stuff for $10, it adds up pretty quickly.
I'm definitely learning that.
But go there and TJ Maxx.
Nice.
Those are the 2 spots we hit for
I'll keep that in mind. I think I've got one pretty close to me.
So yeah, like I will say, and I asked her too, I was like, are you going to do this for Christmas? And she was like, yeah. I was like, yeah. All right, cool.
Yeah.
I was like, where do we put all this stuff when it's done? Because we're not throwing it away.
No.
That is one thing we are not doing is throwing this stuff away.
Yeah, that is going to be an interesting thing. Like, we're in a townhouse, and so, it's good size overall, but it's also like storage is not necessarily a priority when those things are being built and stuff.
Yeah.
So, I'm very curious what we're going to do. Maybe we just take it over to her parents or mine or something and just be like, can y'all hold on to this?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, do you have a garage?
Yeah. So
you can maybe find some space in there. Yeah.
It's going to be tight.
Well, I know that both of our girlfriends deserve a game ball. And one man who decided that nobody deserved a game ball was Mike McCarthy after the game against the Browns. He said that they expected to win the game, and therefore nobody was going to get a game ball.
It's such a coach thing to do. Like, he's going
to do this every week?
That's what I'm wondering. Like, and I don't know if there was a way to even look this up, but like, okay, how often has he not given a game ball out before? He's been a coach for 15 years in the NFL or so?
Yeah.
At this point?
Yeah.
Let's say at least 10, we know.
Yeah.
Okay, is this the first time he's ever not given out a game ball? Because but it's like... Okay,
17 seasons.
17, yeah. So, I don't know. I'm just so fascinated by coaching motivators like that. Like, does that really help anyone think like, oh man, well, I definitely like want to win the next game, or what does it do after the fact?
Right. Like, and then is it like, hey, like, does he tell them before the game, like, hey guys, by the way, we're playing the Saints at home. They're pretty good. I don't know if you saw what they did to the Panthers. Somebody's getting a game ball today if we win. Like, is that going to inspire people? Like, and during the Browns game too, you had Demario Overshone, who was the rookie linebacker last year out of Texas, who tore his ACL. And he made his NFL debut. He had like 11 tackles, was all over the field, had a great game. What a great opportunity to give that guy the game ball. Hey, welcome back from the injury. We're happy to have you.
Right.
Way to kick off the season.
Yeah. It's just such a weird thing. And like, did he tell him before the game, hey, I expect you all to win, so nobody's getting a game ball?
Yeah. Like,
again, I just can't get over after the fact, after the game has been won, no, you guys don't get a game ball because you should have won.
Yeah.
Explain it.
Well, hey, we have somebody here, I believe, that is ready to explain. He's probably won a bunch of game balls in his life. It's Mr. Mike Reiner. How are you today?
Shippy.
I'm doing great. Hi, Shippy. Hi, Shippy.
Hi.
I've won exactly no game balls in my life. I'll bet you've won more than me.
Really? You think so?
I'll bet you.
I don't know.
I won some when I was a kid, like in rec league, but I don't know, like never anything like.
I didn't even do that.
Oh, really?
Of course, they didn't have game balls when I was a kid.
Yeah. What'd you think about the Cowboys?
Tell us, Shippy.
I thought that was a pretty solid thwacking.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how good the opponent was, but a win's a win. Yeah. And it's an excellent way to start the season, I would say.
Yeah. I mean, you got everything you wanted to see. The defense was dominant. Dak was great. The running game, Zeke got in the end zone.
Just like old times.
Yeah. And you got even a special teams touchdown, a punt return.
Yeah.
Like a little bit of everything for whoever was watching.
Yeah. If this is what this team really is, and it's never what this team really is.
It's totally different in January.
But let's just say that it were, then okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Got something pretty good, but you know what? The only thing wrong with it is there's another game on Sunday.
Yeah.
Comes at you quick, Shippy.
It does.
Yeah, life comes at you fast.
Yeah.
You're not giving out game balls, and then all of a sudden you got the Saints in your house.
Yep, they change things on us quick in this world.
Yeah. Can never be too sure.
Oh. So, Shippy, did you see the story about Coach McCarthy not giving out a game ball because he expected the team to win?
No, but I like that.
You do?
Yeah. Yeah, I like that.
Like, okay, so I was asking Shippy, is he telling them before the game that they're not getting a game ball because he just expects them to win? Is he telling them after, hey, no one's getting a game ball because you should have won anyway? Or is it just something he tells the press to sound like a coach and maybe impress Jerry?
It could be the latter. It could be of the three possibilities. It could be the third. I think it would be most effective if it were the second.
Mm-hmm.
That let them know that this is not junior high anymore. And you are expected to win. Game ball or no game ball, you're expected to win.
You think if they renew his contract, he'll start doing the game balls again? Maybe that's for the motivation case. He's like, hey, guys, I'm in my last year of my deal. Really can't afford any more game balls.
We can't afford to give these away.
Maybe he has to pay for them.
Yeah. Oh, I never thought about that.
That was the first time that's popped in my head right now.
Yeah, because you figure, okay, the game ball's got to go somewhere. What do you do with the balls?
Yeah.
It's a really good question. I think I've heard that question asked somewhere before.
What do you do with the balls?
No.
Thank you, Julie.
Hey, Julie.
Yeah. Now, what did they do with the game balls before coaches started giving away? And that would be hilarious if the coach does have to pay like $14.50 or whatever to give them out every game.
They probably put them back in the bag and used them next week.
Yeah,
probably.
Or maybe like for like baseball does with batting practice, they just use them for warm-ups and stuff the next week.
Yeah.
I think that's a good theory.
I think that is a good theory. I mean,
it's better than anything y'all threw out there.
What if you win the game? Like, say that was a home game. Or what if you took that game ball back to Dallas and played the next game with the same game ball because it went so well?
Shoot.
Maybe you play a whole season without. I mean, I'm sure that you don't get the whole ball the whole time, but what do you just try to carry the momentum and you think it's that ball has like Monstar, like Space Jam powers in it?
I think the other team would take a look at it and go, we're playing with a new ball or we're not playing here.
Well, speaking of questionable balls, we had Tom Brady on the broadcast. He was known for deflating his.
Nice. Shippy's a master of segues, I'm noticing.
And he got a pretty awkward beginning to his broadcasting career. Were you able to? Did you tune into the Cowboys game? Were you able to?
I did.
So you were able to see. You're able to see Tom Brady's debut.
Yeah, I did.
What'd you think?
Well, first of all, when I'm watching football or any other sport, really, I don't hardly notice the announcers at all. I listen to what they're saying. But as far as, anything, any particular nuance that there might be about them, chances are that's going to blow right by me.
Okay.
And I thought for the most part he was okay. He was a little rough at times, but that's a very deep pool to get thrown into,
Yeah, yeah.
And all in all, I guess there's upside there. I didn't see enough for me to think that this is just not going to work or anything like that. But on the other hand, he's got a ways to go.
Yeah, there were a few moments. I mean, it was nothing like, I just didn't see the excitement out of him. And there was a thing that came out where Scott Hansen from NFL Red Zone, when Aubrey was lining up for the 71-yard field goal, Tom Brady, I guess, he just was real, just kind of
flatlined.
Yeah, flatlined about it. He didn't have any real excitement, like 71 yards. This will be NFL history, when he was about to tie NFL history if they wouldn't have taken the delay of game.
Oh man, I hate that so much. I hate it that when McCarthy had the chance to do it, he wouldn't let him try it.
Why not?
I don't know.
He could, I was actually driving at this point, so I had to listen to it. But from what I heard, the 66-yard try that was made before we knew there was a flag, apparently there was still a good 5-6 yards on it.
Cleared more than 71.
So,
and it was right down the middle too. Man, that guy just does not miss.
I thought we were all in.
Well, I thought we were too. This doesn't sound all into me, Shippy.
No,
not at
sure
all.
As hell doesn't, Shippy.
Well, we can at least, there's one pretty awkward moment here that I'm going to play for everybody where they're getting ready. I did see this when it happened. It's before the game. Tom Brady's getting ready to get his first game under his belt, and they bring Mike Pereira into the fold. And Tom Brady goes for a pretty risky, idea here.
Look, it's Mike Pereira. Hi, Mike. It's good to have you back.
Oh, don't leave me hanging. So good to be back.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, looking for a little dap. Maybe Mike Pereira is not on board with Tom Brady being there to begin with.
Yeah,
and
Greg Olson's his buddy, maybe.
Oh, yeah, maybe so. I mean, they've been working together for a while.
That's right.
And
or maybe he just doesn't do the dap.
Right.
Well, and that's a pretty bold thing to go in for, like, your first time. Like, one of my things that I'm most, I guess, not anxious, but just kind of worried about is when, like, somebody's approached me. I'm like, all right, are they going to fist bump, handshake, hug, high five? Like, there's so many options, There's not really that many options, but you got a 25% chance or so of getting it right if you guys both go for it at the same time. He decided to do it on national television, and I want to play it again because it does kind of look like Pereira's making eye contact with him, and it looks like he looks away right when he sees the fist bump offered.
It's good to have you.
See?
Oh, he did.
Look at that.
You know what, though?
God, he left him hanging out to dry.
He left him hanging bad.
I do think, though, keep in mind, Mike Pereira is not a former quarterback who has great reaction time, probably.
It's true.
So he sees the thumbs up from Brady and is like, okay, cool. Brady gave me the thumbs up.
Yeah,
I can go look at my
he thinks
telestrator.
conversation over right there.
But so here, I can kind of just slowly go here.
Words of prudery.
You don't even get this kind of, an NFL review isn't this good. All right, watch. He's got the thumbs up. They're making eye contact. Thumb goes down. Fist bump. Okay, look.
Oh.
He's staring him down, and there he go. I mean,
not even halfway there before he starts to look away.
Okay, that changes things. I take back everything I said. Mike Pereira hates Tom Brady.
I agree. This is a story.
This is so bad.
This is an NFL storyline I did not have on my 2024-25 bingo card.
But this is going to shake the NFL to its very core.
This needs to be followed all season long.
I might just start watching the XFL.
No, you won't.
Yeah, that's true. Except the Renegades.
Right.
Because they won that one time.
Oh, yeah.
All right, roll that back a little bit because
Okay.
I thought I saw the play-by-play guy. Who is it?
Kevin Burkhardt.
Yeah, I thought I saw him. Oh, yeah, look at the wave.
Okay,
Look at him waving to Mike Pereira down there.
He's waving. Hey,
Yeah.
Mike, good to see you from over here.
Yeah.
You're standing 6 feet from him, and you're waving at him.
And like they're acting like they haven't been talking this whole time
Yeah.
before
Right.
during
Yeah.
commercial break. Like,
You're
oh,
acting
hey,
like
Mike.
You're seeing him for the first time. You're standing 6 feet from him, and you're waving.
And you're waving.
Yeah. He's been sitting in his little chair the whole time. And then,
I'm telling you, man, I really think Pereira just left him hanging
Yeah.
on purpose.
says it should have been Greg.
Yeah, maybe Pereira's bummed because Eggman and what's his
Oh,
face
yeah,
is no longer Joe Buck are no longer there.
Ah.
He might miss them. That could be. He might miss them. That's for sure. Well, I guess while we're talking about funny pre and post game shows, let's talk about what happened to Jason Kelce.
Yes.
Because Jason Kelce is now part of Monday Night Countdown or whatever they call it these days that we've all been waiting for. And he's dressed very differently from everybody else. And I'm just gonna let this play here, and I'll explain what happened afterwards.
Super Bowl champion and Emmy Award winner. It's Ryan Clark. A first-round draft pick from the Dallas Cowboys, the national champ at LSU, Marcus Spears. And I'm just Scott Van Pelt. I have no accolades of any kind, but collectively we are thrilled to welcome in a six-time first team.
Yes, sir.
NFL selection. A
Six
Super Bowl
times?
champion. Six times.
6 times.
Future gold jacket wearer. He got a podcast that apparently is doing fairly well. And all that said, Jason Kelce is wearing a shirt he got at the mall because he left his travel bag in the truck. Left the bag in the truck.
Fits my belly now. I've lost a little bit of weight, but my tits are still.
So right there, he said, "It fits
the
my
fact
belly
that-
well. Just doesn't really
Hall of
fit my
Fame center could
tits."
shop at Lululemon. That's
Oh, he did.
So yeah, so
Doesn't fit his
it doesn't fit his tits. So, and basically what happened here is Jason Kelce, he left
Oh,
his
man, I
suit.
didn't see it.
He left his suitcase at home when he left for San Francisco. So when he got there, he had to adjust on the way over there, and he had to buy a new shirt from a local mall in San Francisco, and then wore that shirt to the broadcast. And then so they were giving him a hard time about it. He said, "It fits my belly now. I've lost a little bit of weight, but my tits are struggling." So I don't know.
Hell, mine are too.
Yeah.
Yours are great.
Yeah, I think yours are doing great. I think Jason Kelce though is a good example of a former player who's just slid right into broadcasting, and it seems pretty much effortless for him. And like obviously he's done the podcast with his brother for a minute, but it's different when you're doing it on this stage on ESPN on Monday Night Football. But he's doing really well outside of remembering his clothing.
Yeah, I feel like he's just one of those that he's who he is. Like he's
take it or leave it.
Yeah, like I know that he has done, was it like broadcasting training camp and stuff like that that the NFL has offered and stuff like that, where he's clearly put in effort to understand all the stuff that goes into being a good broadcaster. But still, I've seen enough stories in like The Athletic and all that about how much Tom Brady's been preparing, and there's already like kind of that media push that hey, he's gonna be great at this, but you're not hearing it yet.
Yeah,
Jason Kelce was basically fully formed the moment he grabbed the mic.
Yeah. He's just a natural, and like seeing him all the commercials and stuff, like the beat ups commercials, like where I remember exactly what he says, but he's like, "Yeah, well, your brother abandoned you," and he's obviously watching football. He's like, "Yeah, you're right, he did." Like stuff like that is just hilarious to me, and like I know whenever Travis decides to retire, I'm sure he'll probably follow a similar path. I would imagine,
probably.
Like maybe that's why they started the podcast, was to go ahead and start preemptively setting themselves up for life after football. But
Have you ever heard their podcast?
I just see clips on Instagram and TikTok. Like, I just see little clips. I don't really tune into it or anything.
My mom's a huge fan.
Oh, really?
My mom watches it all the time. She loves it. She thinks it's the best thing ever.
I mean, they talk about some funny stuff.
Yeah, like they clearly, not surprisingly, have good chemistry, but, they are both charismatic and all that. Jason, I think, is just amazing.
Yeah.
Travis is good, but I think Travis is also more transparent about, wanting to be a star. I think Jason just is who he is, and that just carries him. He's not putting in that effort to be famous. He's just the lovable. He's
just being himself, and whatever happens.
Yeah, but he's just, he's this big teddy bear that's just so easy to love. And Travis, I think, he looks kind of like, a badass. Like he's, I'm sure he's got enough of a similar personality to Jason, but he just comes off, I think, a little tougher maybe.
Yeah.
Did y'all ever see the story about how him and his wife met?
Yes.
Jason and I did. I think that was on his podcast, wasn't it? Was it?
Mm-hmm.
Retell it because I forgot.
Okay, so they go out to a bar. She meets him, and something happens, but he's blackout the F drunk.
Yeah, classic.
I mean, blackout drunk. And the next day calls her and was like, hey, do you want to go on a second date?
I mean, sometimes that's what it takes. They got to see you at your worst,
Yeah.
That's what he said. He goes, she saw me at my worst. Couldn't do any worse than that.
Yeah. I mean, there's something to be said.
You could too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I mean, that's, it's him, like you said, unapologetically being him. It's like when they were celebrating winning the Super Bowl, everybody's got cameras on Travis and Taylor Swift. But then they're like, wait, who's the dude is that Jason Kelce with a luchador mask on in the DJ booth, like with the chain smokers or something? And it was just him just hanging out, vibing by himself, just got a mask on, looking ridiculous, shirtless.
But like, he wouldn't, it sounds like he's the type of guy that's doing that even without cameras around. Like, again, it's another thing I read in The Athletic a few months ago where Jason just always has been that, the party guy.
Yeah.
Like, maybe not the party guy, but the life of the party, where, it's just, he's who he is. He's fun. He's going to be loud. He's going to be drunk probably. He's going to take his shirt off. He's going to put on a luchador mask.
Yeah.
And you're just going to have fun with him.
Yeah, he likes bits.
Yeah. Bits are fun.
Yeah.
Do I know the chain smokers, Shippy?
Probably. They did that. Oh, I'm not even going to
I don't know how to... I can't sing it or anything.
Yeah. And I don't think we have the rights to it.
Probably not. I haven't asked him yet.
We'll play something for you later.
Okay.
I bet you've heard them, though.
Yeah.
Probably.
They're not as good as BB Rexa, but I think you've heard a few of their songs.
You'll never let me forget that, will you?
No.
Well, one thing that the Dolphins are going to let the Miami police forget about is arresting Tyreek Hill on his way to the stadium about a block away. Guess he was speeding, and the ticket was for speeding. I saw somebody said reckless driving as well, which is crazy because I woke up ready for an NFL Sunday, and I won't beat anybody down with fantasy football talk, but I have Tyreek Hill on my fantasy team this year. I'm really excited because I've never had a guy that's that good. Like, I've always had some guys that are pretty good, but I'm like, oh man, he could just score at any moment. I've never had this. This is so exciting. And I wake up and it's like, Tyreek Hill has been arrested. And I'm like, what? What? How? What did he? I'm like, so I'm on Twitter, like, how did he get arrested? And then I see all this stuff coming in about him driving on the way to the.
If you go 20 miles over the speed limit, you're arrested. Like, if you get pulled over for going 20 plus, you get arrested.
Oh, whoops. Well, he has a nice Ferrari. I think it was a Ferrari, but he has a really nice car that I guarantee you goes well above the speed limit.
Yeah, I don't want to say too much, but I don't think Tyreek Hill cares too much about most laws.
Probably not.
From what I've seen of his
that's
record.
Very, very accurate.
But hey, people can change, so maybe he's become a better person in 24 hours or so.
Well, and I'd rather people speed than what he was, convicted of in the past with his baby mama and all that sort of stuff. And his baby.
Yeah.
So I was just, it was an interesting thing to see, but I did enjoy The one good thing I enjoyed about the whole thing was how he reacted after scoring an 80-yard touchdown. The worst part of the NFL was when they took away celebrations for some reason because we decided to hate fun for a little bit. So Tyreek Hill scores an 80-yard touchdown, and then this is how he decides to celebrate. So there he is running. Got to take the head straps off or whatever, and then Jalen Waddle has arrested him, and they're waddling off.
Man.
So it was nice that they were able to have some fun with it, right? Like, you got to make light. I mean, I make light of pretty much any situation that happens to me. So I'm glad to see them do the same thing.
Wonder how coordinated that was, or if Waddle all of a sudden was like, "Oh, I see what he's doing," and then he's a great teammate and figures it out. But yeah,
that's got to be pretty coordinated. They got to be like, "Yo, if you score, we got to arrest you, right? Like, we've got to walk you off." I wonder
if it was Tyreek's idea or a teammate.
Yeah. But I don't know. That's probably my favorite part, other than I love field goals because so much has to go right for the field goal to be successful. There's a lot of variables. Yeah. And so other than the field goal,
that's one of the really underrated things about football is that you can have a game with nothing but field goals.
Yeah.
I love those.
Yeah. Look at the Steelers. They just won on nothing but field goals.
So awesome.
No touchdowns.
Yeah. The way football was meant to be.
Yeah. And
it's football, not touchdown ball.
Right? Yeah, you're supposed to use your foot.
That's what it's all about.
And actually, speaking of the Steelers thing, Chris Boswell, the kicker who scored all their points, because I think they won 18-16, he posted on Instagram a picture of him alone in the stadium, and it said "Great team win" and all teams in all caps. So
that's a good bit.
That's a good bit. Let's see here. Let's talk about.
Oh, I think just because you had your Twitter up and it's showing as trending, I think we need to talk Dave Grohl, if that's okay.
Yes, let's go.
Do you know this news, Shippy?
I guess I don't.
Okay. Let me pull up the article.
Grubes is the
Instagram post.
Grubes is the Grohl reporter here on Shippy and Grubes.
Via Dave's True Stories on Instagram. That's Dave Grohl's Instagram handle.
So it's not his burner account or his Finsta is what they call it.
Correct. Dave Grohl writes, "I've recently become the father of a new baby daughter born outside of my marriage. I plan to be a loving and supportive parent to her. I love my wife and my children. I am doing everything I can to regain their trust and earn their forgiveness. We're grateful for your consideration toward all the children involved as we move forward together."
Love to know what the wife thinks about this.
I get the feeling she's the one that made him post it.
What's her Instagram? We need to see if she's made a post about this. I bet My Hero probably hits different now.
Yeah, someone did post on Twitter that he would have won all the internet points if he had started off with, "I've got another confession to make."
Yeah.
Which song is that? Is that All My Life?
I got it. Best of Me.
Best of You.
Yeah, Best of You.
So Dave Grohl has a fun baby.
All right.
That's it's not. Is it shocking?
No, it's not necessarily shocking when most celebrities, Shippy, have a fun baby.
What?
But I don't know. I just want to see how you reacted. See if I could get a gotcha.
Does this drag me into this?
I don't know. We're trying to go viral.
I got no fun babies, and I'm not a celebrity.
Okay, well, we're trying to go
Only
go viral.
One of those two things are true.
Catch you in the moment. See if we could get a gotcha.
Well, we
can confirm that Shippy has no fun babies.
That's a very amusing and entertaining story.
Thank you. But yeah, it's not entirely surprising when any celebrity has a fun baby, but the way Dave Grohl has kind of been portrayed as he's, the nicest guy in rock and, just everybody loves him.
Apparently they do.
Yeah.
Yeah, that doesn't mean he's not out there banging anything he can.
No, there's no doubt about that. But, even there was a Foo Fighters documentary put out 8 years ago or so and, shows what a family man he is. Like, he's such a family man.
Clearly.
They have a home recording studio. That's where the Foo Fighters have been recording all their albums for the last decade or so. And, because that way he can, when Dave finishes recording a guitar track or a vocal track, he can then, walk out the the back door to the pool and play with his kids. And then when he, has to go back in and record another thing or overdub something, he can dry off and get back in the recording studio.
I think they need to call this a tour, baby.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I was going to say.
He made this kid on tour. It's got to be it. Like, it's just like, you hear athletes on the road and stuff. Mm-hmm. Like, it's when they're away from home. And I don't know. To me, I don't understand what makes him do that. Like, I thought Dave Grohl was single. Like, I figured, he's a rock star. Like, why? Like, I figured most rock stars probably stay single, just because, how that would be tough to, all right.
I bet most of them don't.
You think
especially not those of his age.
Yeah.
He's not like he's ancient or anything like that.
He's 55.
Okay. Well, he's been around for a while.
Yeah, and he's been
married. He should know better than that.
Yeah, and he's been married since 2003. Like,
dang.
He's had 2 entire bands, in the time that he, before he got married. He had Nirvana in the 90s and then started the Foo Fighters in 97. So he'd been a rock star for 10, 15 years at that point.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It's just a interesting thing where, he's got 2 kids. It looks like Violet and Harper. 18.
Well, now they got a little brother and sister.
I guess so, yeah. It sounds like he made another daughter.
Maybe more on the way.
Yeah, it's just an interesting thing. I think Shippy and I had talked a little bit before the show about just relationships in general. Like, speaking for myself, I spent pretty much 37 years of my life hoping to find someone like Darcy, and finding Darcy, I'm just like, okay, I don't want anyone else. I don't, but this is what I've been hoping for. But then, I guess if you're a rock star or whatever, maybe it's just, relationships are transactional or fleeting or whatever, or, you're I guess I just don't understand staying in a marriage or whatever if you're gonna cheat. Right. You're gonna do all that. And, I guess everybody's got different values. So, hey, maybe his wife is cool with it.
Wait,
or
didn't
whatever.
Grego have some words to say about that the other day?
Oh gosh, what did he say?
I don't remember, but he said something, and he was like, "You'll get tired of fucking them at some point."
Yeah. Someone somewhere is, no matter how hot they are, someone somewhere is
tired of them. Yeah.
That's one of Grego's most rigid truisms.
Yes, and he's had that one for a long time. But yeah, it's just an interesting thing. If you're gonna be a rock star and celebrity, and if you want to screw around, go for it. But when you do have a wife and kids and all that, it just feels like stakes should be a little higher.
Yeah. That's always been my thing. Is I stayed single for a long time without any expectations of dating again, and it was just that's because I didn't have anybody I could see myself committing to. And I was busy working. I had a lot of other priorities. It was just kind of I would still talk to girls here and there and still flirt with them and all that good stuff. But when it came, if they tried to get me into be in a relationship with them, I was like, nah, I'm good. Sorry, if that's a deal breaker, that's fine.
What I'd really like to know here is, and I'm sure we'll never know, but what does Mama really think about this?
Can't be happy.
Yeah.
No.
Unless there's no real way that I could see her being happy about this.
No, and I can't either.
I wonder how recently they got the news and how soon we would hear of a divorce or something, or because a statement like that, if you haven't heard from her side of things, you don't know, do you expect them to stay together, or I would expect them probably to split up,
yeah.
Unless they stay together for the kids, like Blink-182 says.
No, I do wonder, it sounds like the kid has already been born, obviously.
Right.
So, I don't know how soon into the pregnancy Dave found out about it. Maybe he only found out after the baby was born.
What I want to know is how soon into the pregnancy did Mama find out about it?
Oh, yeah.
I'm very curious about this timeline, at least as far as we know. Dave is still with his wife.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just a very interesting thing.
Is this somebody he knows, or is it just a random that had to was tweeting at the Foo Fighters yo, I need to talk to Dave Grohl ASAP. They're DMing.
I don't know, man.
Yeah.
I don't know.
This was just a rando. So, okay, they get together and do this, and then he goes on about his business.
I'm so glad we have.
And then all of a sudden, she's got something to tell him. How do you get a hold of him?
Yeah, I don't know. He can't be an easy guy to get a hold of.
No.
We should try to get a hold of him and get him on the show. See if he can come.
Yeah, just to see how easy it is.
Hey, man, so we had some questions. Yeah. Well, good luck to Dave Roll and.
I think you should have to say that you're pregnant. See if that happens.
Oh, say, hey, I was at your show. I wasn't really at the show, but I was at your show. Didn't they play in Dallas recently? Not like a month or two ago?
Yeah, they did.
They were just here. Were they at the AAC? I had a gig that night. I couldn't go. I wanted to.
No, I almost feel like it was like, what was it, Starplex or JAXA?
Whatever the new sponsor is.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever that one is now.
It's changed so many times.
It's
Starplex.
Yeah.
Well,
good luck to
Dos
Dave
Equis Pavilion.
Good luck to Dave and Cindy as they try to work things out.
And the tour baby. Hope you have a great life. Who knows? It might happen. It might be able to work. Mike, were you ever a big disco guy?
You mean
like disco music?
Did I like the music?
Yeah.
At the time, no.
Okay.
Because it was extremely uncool to like disco.
Okay, like even and what time frame are we talking? Like I guess this would be 70s.
In its heyday, yeah.
Okay.
In its heyday in the 70s.
So even though that was the thing, it wasn't cool to like it.
No.
So what was it cool to like?
It's cool to like rock and roll, man.
Rock and roll?
Yeah. Rock and fucking roll.
So have you ever done a silent disco?
No, I can't say that I have.
Well, we've got our silent disco reporter here, Grubes, who I believe has a Dallas News account of somebody's first experience with this.
Yeah, Sarah Heppola, now the Dallas Morning News, went to a silent disco, it looks like at Clyde Warren Park.
Okay.
Sounds like she had a good time, had never done it before. Really, the story isn't necessarily the thing. I'm just intrigued by the idea of silent discos, how they work, how anybody gets into them. I'm so fascinated by all of it.
So
I know you said you've been to one.
I've been to one. So it's not like, so the one that I went to wasn't just a silent disco. It was like a music festival with a silent disco room. And so like you can go to the stages where it's normal. You just listen to music, right? And then you could go to this one other room where it was like a little bit darker and they had some like cool lights and stuff. And then you put on these headphones. And so it's all these people and there's a DJ set up and it's all these people with headphones on, but you're just listening into the headphones. You're not like...
The music doesn't fill the room.
Like if you take the headphones off, it's silent in there.
It's so weird.
And so
just hear a bunch of people like huffing and puffing as they're dancing.
If you don't have headphones on, yeah.
It's kind of a good bit.
But it's like...
We need that audio.
Do you huff and puff when you dance, Shippy?
I huff and puff when I do everything.
I can't dance at all. Like,
I was going to say, I don't dance, so I just huff and puff.
So when I put the headphones on, like I tried it because I was like, oh, maybe I'll be able to dance over here. Like I'm not dancing on with these stages. Maybe I put some headphones on. That'll change everything. It didn't change a damn thing. Like I've got rhythm and I understand music. I like it. But when it comes to like rhythmically moving your body, I can't. Like it's just I'm incapable of it unless I'm like Jason Kelce on a first date and I'm blacked out. Like that's it. That's the only way I can dance is because I just don't know that I'm dancing. And even then, I don't know if I'm good. I'm probably not.
So these people are wearing these headphones.
Yeah.
And they are all hearing the music. Are they like dancing with each other?
Yeah. So people will dance with each other with the headphones on and look at each other like, but you're all just wearing headphones. And if you don't, and that's the whole experience.
Yeah. And apparently, like at least with the Clyde Warren Park one, looks like, colors on the headphones represent different genres or songs or whatever. So like blue is top hits, green is EDM, throwbacks are red. So you can find people with the same colored headphones and it looks like they're...
I would go up to people with the wrong colors.
Yeah.
You got somebody EDM and I'm like... And then you just come up like with a throwback hip hop vibe.
Yeah.
Or let's just eliminate the colors altogether.
Yeah. You don't know what they're dancing to.
You don't know what they're dancing to. They're all just out there flopping around.
I like that. I like that idea. That's a silent disco I could get down with. Like the one that I went to, it was all the same thing. You were listening to the DJ, so everybody was listening to the same thing. I didn't know that they were listening to different genres of music at Clyde Warren Park.
It's just so weird.
It is weird.
That's the work of Sarah Heppola, huh?
I wonder too, was there a DJ there that was playing, or they just had like Spotify playlists going into these headphones?
That's a good question, Shippy. I didn't read the story that well.
Well, it's not really that important. You know, what is important is that silent discos exist, and so do tour babies.
They really do.
That's right, they do.
As well as sports.
And we love all those
things.
We
love all the sports. And we love being on the Stolen Water Media platform. So thank you very much, Mike Reiner, for having us. This has been episode number 5 of Shippy and Grubes. This is it.
Oh,
we hit an hour.
I know.
God.
Next time you can get in here earlier.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay.
We can have a good time. But thank you to everybody for tuning in. We appreciate you guys subscribing to the Patreon, to the Sunset Lounge. $5 a month. We're adding a whole bunch of shows as we speak to you right now. Shows are being added. So go ahead and make sure you sign up if you haven't already. And until next week, episode number 6. Good luck out there, everyone.
Your Dark Companion is a Stolen Water Media presentation.